speed like a battery. I'm staying charged on my feet. I'm like a factory. What's going on, guys? Welcome to ZukaTube, and today we're going to be reviewing Titans Season 3, Episode 6, titled Lady Vic. And the last episode was basically a flashback episode about the buildup of how Jason Todd became the Red Hood. And the episode before that was the clash between Nightwing and Red Hood when Scarecrow ended up escaping and everything like that, and kind of shit hit the fan and all that stuff. And we didn't get to see what happened from there, right? But this episode takes off basically after that episode, you know? So they don't really have a promo for this one, so I'm just going to kind of go through the summary. I'm going to play a couple clips, give you my review, and then we'll go into some spoilers, right? So it starts off, and you see this blonde chick at a bar, right? And they show these two cops who are a couple and everything, and they're kind of being all lovey-dovey kind of deal, right? And she kills them and then ends up driving to Gotham. And you find out that she's a woman who like doesn't accept love existing for anyone else if she can't have it herself, right? Due to something that happened in her past. And then they go over from there, and then they show Blackfire, right? Returning to Gotham with Starfire and Beast Boy and having a hard time adjusting to life, not being like royalty and from another planet, obviously, right? So there's that. They're going back into that from that episode that I was talking about. And you get a flashback to 6 years ago now, right? And they show Robin stopping a robbery of a girl who seems like Catwoman, but's really Barbara Gordon before she was Batgirl kind of deal. And they show some previous spicy relationship stuff with Barbara and Dick, and then he wakes up and it's just like after the fight with Red Hood. So they're continuing right from there, basically. But let me play a little clip of them kind of in that whole situation. In that 6 year ago flashback, right? Oh, they're fighting. And she's just blocking them hits without getting halfway thrown across the room just from the power of the impact. Unless he's pulling his punches.
Here's a joke. It's my way of keeping my dad on his toes. Wanna grab a drink?
So it shows how some of their escapades start. And how before, you know, obviously she becomes Batgirl, like what she was out doing, right? And so like I said, they show some spicy relationship stuff, and then they show he wakes up, and it's after the whole situation with the Red Hood. And basically Beast Boy and Starfire are helping patch him up. And they're not happy about this whole thing and his poor choices to go out on his own and do this. And they show like him kind of like bugging out, like Beast Boy, that is, on Nightwing. And it's a cool little scene here. Let me just play that.
Dude, that looks horrible.
5 inches over and we'd be burying another body. Barbara's responsible for this?
Dang, took a hard shot right there.
On her orders, I'm sure. Maybe I should go and have a word with her.
I think there's been enough bloodshed for today. I was way too close, man. I almost had him.
You're not listening, Dick. You scared us.
Yeah,
Going
seriously.
out on your own, getting shot, it's not okay.
I didn't want to put you guys at risk. Oh, bullshit, Grayson. Excuse me? Dude, Hank blew up. Dawn left us forever, and Jason went dark. This family
Yeah, dude.
is dying, and you go out alone and get yourself shot?
Look at him transforming too. He's getting so mad.
Do you even hear the words coming out of your mouth?
God.
Starfire's like, yo, whoa, chill, bro. For real. And he's like, oh shit, I gotta get out of here before I start freaking out. Then he turns and tries to eat him or some shit, right? So they show after that, right? Jason Todd wanting to finish off the plan, and like Scarecrow kind of changing course a bit, and they show this brain surgery happening and Lady Vic coming in and killing the doctors, right? And Scarecrow knew it was going to happen. And they show Starfire after like having trouble with having Blackfire as an inconvenience and bringing her around with her, but they're trying to basically find the doctor that's behind making the technology that was with the bomb attached to Hank, right? And they're going out, and they bring Superboy as well to find them because he knows how to disarm it, right? And they basically find another bomb on one of the doctors, but Superboy's able to stop it, and they show basically, I guess, that they saved her, right? And it turns out that the medical device Scarecrow was after can also like replicate chemicals. So we're guessing he's going to try to replicate his fear toxin, and that's his kind of bigger plan, right? So before I get into anything else about that, I don't want to go into any spoilers or anything, but I'm going to give you my overall review for the episode. I would give this like a solid, 7.5 out of 10. Like, it was decent. It was average. There was a little bit of action, nothing too crazy. Some pretty gnarly, like, violent stuff with this whole Lady Vic introduction. But still, like, I'm a little wishy-washy with some of the stuff they show towards the end that I don't want to spoil. And right away, that'll be in the spoiler section at the end, so stay tuned if you want to know about that. But if you haven't seen it, obviously watch it. But seriously, like, this was a little bit more average. They've been off to a really good start, but this one's kind of mellowing out a little bit for me. And there's some stuff that if they kind of focus into too much towards the end of the season, I'm not going to be as into, potentially, which I'm a little disappointed about. But I still really enjoy the season, so I think that they're going to have enough going on that's really still going to keep me hype and really enjoying the season. At least that's what I'm thinking. Fingers crossed, right? So let's get into the spoilers, and let me read a little bit more about the rest of what goes on here, because there's a lot that could be potentially going on, and I don't want to spoil anything by saying too much here, right? Spoilers. Okay, so, right, it turned out, right, that it could replicate chemicals, and obviously Scarecrow wants to probably spread his fear toxin out there, right? And then Blackfire runs off on her own, and she's kind of doing her own thing, cracking some heads to get answers, and they aren't really happy about it. But either way, it works out. And they show Robin was doing some investigating, working on who Nightwing, technically, who attacked the doctors and like recreated the elements of the fight, and it was really cool kind of things, right? And they flash back again to like 6 years ago, Robin and Barbara doing some missions together and running into Lady Vic and her partner at the time that I guess was her love interest. And they get into a fight, and basically the guy ends up dying. And that's kind of the tragic thing. And she clearly wants revenge. So that's probably why she's back in Gotham, right? And working with Scarecrow. And they kind of fast forward back to the present day, and she's luring Barbara into Crime Alley and fights her and kind of gets the upper hand on her. And then after, she kind of contacts Robin and talks about what happens, and Robin comes and checks her place out and just tries to make sure nobody's there and that Lady Vic's not trying to get the drop on her when she gets to her home, and that there's no traps, right? And they show her Lady Vic, right? They show her reporting back to Scarecrow. Meanwhile, Jason has his own plans and is tired of being like a puppet of Scarecrow in this whole situation, and goes around like dishing out the anti-fear toxin, right? And, someone ends up taking it and goes right in and shoots up the store that Tim Drake and his family work at. And they show shooting the father, which I don't know if it's going to be like in the comic where he's still alive and like kind of paralyzed, but they don't really show what happens to the mother or anything like that. And we'll see kind of what happens in the next episode. But they also tell you in the previous episode showing you that Bruce Wayne's kind of not really Batman anymore, not doing his thing and not really looking for a Robin anymore. So I wonder how they're going to go into the potential buildup for this character. Maybe he's going to go off and do his own vigilante stuff and be taken under the wing of the Titans instead. Maybe somewhere towards the end, Bruce Wayne will come back and then notice Tim Drake. Maybe they'll recommend Tim Drake to to meet with Bruce, and maybe they'll get Bruce to come back for that. Who knows where the season's going, but I didn't want to talk about this too much and spoil it until I get into the spoiler section, obviously, right? But either way, I'd give this like a 7.5 out of 10. Again, I've said in previous reviews, I'm not really interested in the whole Tim Drake thing. I think we got enough going on with the Jason Todd thing and Nightwing and all that, and I don't really there's quite a bit of changes already to where everything's going with the story, but I do like the Jason Todd stuff that they're doing. The whole, that whole thing is great so far. The Scarecrow stuff, I'm interested to see where that goes. Obviously, the fear, it's going to be like fear toxin and anti-fear toxin, I feel like, going on at the same time. But let me know what you think about that. Again, I'd give this a 7.5 out of 10. You know what I mean? A little bit more average than some of the previous episodes, which I've thoroughly been enjoying so far. But overall, the season's been really good. Definitely check this out. Again, this is season 3, episode 6, Lady Vic, ZukaTube.
Homie, can I steal some? Homie, you can't stack up. My brother, can you shout me? You're barking up the wrong tree. My dog, why do you doubt me? 'Cause you can't do shit without me.
Real like the radio and never play it, but that's cool. The enemy's supposed to hate it.